Hello! How's everybody going? For those who are new to the channel, I'm Erroneous-Hyphen and I like to do retro PC gaming and modern PC gaming and retro console gaming and retro console repairs and mods and PC builds and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, welcome. Hopefully the music's not too loud in the background there, but I'll turn it down if it is.
No, it's good.
No, it's good. That's good. So welcome. We're going to be doing some Amiga stuff today, and it's going to be really confusing. But I've also got some new deliveries, which I'm going to show you. I think I showed off yesterday. I got a. So this is the current compact flash that my terrible Fire Amiga runs on at the moment, the Amiga CD32, and I got a bigger flash card to try and install Amiga OS 3.9. So what we're going to do, we're going to boot this up first. We're going to show you all my other deliveries, but I'm going to boot this up first and have a little bit of a muck around, show you what's there. And then we're going to try and install Amiga OS 3.9 on this. We'll see how we go. It should be an interesting challenge. But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff delivered from... For those who know the names, and you'll see what they are as we go through them, but from Crix and from Tim Worthington and from, is that it? Crix and Tim Worthington? And from, oh, what's his name? Some guy in Great Britain. Hang on, he's got flyers somewhere that I put down.
Here? Under here?
Maybe. Yes. Retro Computer Shack in the UK. So lots of cool things. So I'm going to show you all the cool stuff that I've got. I'm going to move it over there where the Amiga CD32 was. And then we're going to, because it's now over there down in the TV unit, which we need to sort that out. That's a whole other issue. And then we're going to get into trying to work out how the hell do you set up an Amiga computer. Photo!
Good to do the dance.
You gotta do the dance, exactly. I don't know why I put a percent in front of you. 14 months.
Only a percent.
You are
subscribed.
too nice. Apparently it's your 14-month sub anniversary. Thank you. More than a year.
Ah.
Thanks so much, Ferno. Your support is greatly appreciated. I could not be able to buy all of the little fun goodies that I've bought without the people that support me. In fact, I can't even buy it with the people that support me, but I did anyway. And Jonas! Andy! Deja vu. Hey Andy, how's it going?
I think Doom is
good
also
to see
watching
you.
the stream.
What's a what, who, what,
I
when?
think Doom's watching the stream.
You think Doom's watching the stream? Oh, I see. He wants to be the star. Very good. So we're going to be doing some Amiga stuff, but I'm going to show you the cool stuff that I got. So many things here. So let's start with some of the stuff from Crix. If you don't know what Crix is. So this is, I'm going to apologize that I don't have my top-down camera going, so I'm going to do like a semi-unboxing in front of the webcam. So this says EverDrive. If you don't know what an EverDrive is, I'll open this up for you. And what this one is, I don't even have one yet, but it's a Game Gear. I'll take it out of its little slip. It's an SD cartridge for the Game Gear, so when I eventually get a Sega Game Gear, you can put a little SD card in there, just in there. And that sits in your Game Gear, and you can have all of your games sitting there ready to go. Now I don't even have a Game Gear yet, but I'm going to get one. And Crix, being located in the Ukraine, have obviously some difficulties with stocking and so forth. So I figured it was a good idea and a good time to support them. So there's the Game Gear EverDrive. We also have this, the Mega EverDrive, which again, it's an SD cartridge. This is for the Mega Drive. I don't have the Mega Drive yet either, technically. Zeke said he's going to give me his Mega Drive 2, and this is going to go in it. So again, same thing. This will run Sega CD, Sega Mega Drive, and Sega 32X if you've got the 32X expansion games. It's the same thing. I've got an SD card on the way for it. This one's a little bit more relevant. The EverDrive N8 Pro which is for the original Famicom. I do have the Famicom, which means once my shipment of SD cards arrives, because I ordered a few of these, and there's actually more of these coming. Once my SD cards arrive, I'll be able to play whatever original Nintendo games or Famicom games that I would like on the Sharp Twin Famicom that I've got. So there's that. Those are the only EverDrives that I've received. I'm waiting on a Nintendo 64 EverDrive and a Game Boy Advance EverDrive. Which I don't have a Game Boy Advance or a Nintendo 64 yet, but I will get one. Then I also received these SCART video cables made in Britain from the Retro Computer Shack. These are for the Amiga CD32. So this will give me RGB out from the Amiga CD32 that has the Terrible Fire installed in it. What else have I got? So many things. I then also have, oh, this is the second half of a different thing. Oh yeah, I got a capacitor kit for the Game Gear, so that when I do get a Game Gear, I can recap the whole thing. That's another project that'll be going on. Oh, I did receive as well a sample book. Another sample book. These are all the RO805 resistors that I was waiting on. So these are all surface mount resistors, which means more components for the hundreds of electrical projects that I've got in line to get done. So they'll get done. Some ribbon cable. These are from Tim Worthington now. He sent me some ribbon cable. It looks like a, what do you call it? Like a fruit roll-up.
I'll eat it.
And then we have, now I'm gonna have to work out what each of these are for. Yes. This is the Game Gear TV circuit board. So again, when I get a Game Gear, I'll be able to wire this in and it will give me RGB out from the Game Gear. So I'll be able to stream from the Game Gear. Then we have the N64 RGB, which gives you RGB out of a Nintendo 64. So a few modification things. I've got this one, which I couldn't remember for the life of me. Oh, this is, okay, that's right. This is part of the NES RGB, and then this is the actual NES RGB. So this gets installed on the Sharp Twin Famicom. This is the special Twin Famicom board, from what I understand. Oh no, actually, sorry, I think this is the Twin Famicom part, and this is the NES RGB board. So this will give me RGB out of the Sharp Twin Famicom. That's another little project. And then these are the cables for SCART RGB out of the Twin Famicom, which I have to actually make the SCART connector as well. So another little bit of a project to do. So I've got a lot of project stuff that's turned up, but that's really good. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna get into, I'm gonna plug in this drive, the Amiga Terrible Fire 330 drive, and we're gonna boot it up. And then we're just gonna have a little look around. Sorry, I'm gonna have to stand up here while I plug this in. I'm gonna boot that up and I'm just gonna have a little look around on it to show you what that looks like. Let's go to this stream. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the boot up of that looks like. So we use WinUAE. Run that as administrator. Now this is all new to me, so this is a little bit fiddly to get working. This is working. If I just hit start, it will boot the Amiga thing, but we're going to run through some settings just to kind of refresh my mind as to what I'm doing, because on this compact flash card I'm going to try and do my own install. Now I do have, you can see a little guide here that we're going to follow, so this is going to be a lot of gibberish, a lot of me watching a YouTube video and then trying to reproduce the steps in this, and probably swearing when it doesn't work.
Yay, swearing.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for coming along to check out how this is going to go. It's probably going to be a big kerfuffle. So quick start, this is starting quick start mode, yep. Default config, best compatibility. If I want to mount a CD, I can select a CD image here, which I think we're going to have to do that later. I should probably save my configuration here. So I'm already on the wrong thing. Alright, so I need to set this to 680/30 with JIT, if I remember correctly.
JIT?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Chipset, AGA, that's correct. CD32. That's what I'm gonna run it on. Advanced chipset, I just set to compatible settings. The ROM that I want to run, I believe, is CD32 3.1 Kickstart. I think I can change that, and then the CD32 extended ROM. I think I can change this and it will still work, but we'll see. I don't want to mess with anything else there. Original UAE board. I think that's correct. So RAM, I want to tell it that I've got Z3 fast RAM. Just some at the moment. 2 meg of chip RAM. There's other stuff here that I'll muck around with later. I just want to get this to boot. Floppy drives, I don't want to mount a floppy. Hard drives, I need to add my 8 gig drive. Add. I don't want to add any other directories. There is some stuff that I want to copy over onto that SD card, onto that compact flash card, but we'll do that later. I think that's it. I should hit start now, and it should boot into Amiga Workbench. Let's see. Make this a bit bigger as well. No, I've done something wrong.
Is this the beginning of the rest of tonight?
This is the thing, I had so much trouble with this. Yeah, I want that. Yep, that's the correct hard drive. Yep, no floppies. Some fast RAM. The CD32 Kickstarter ROM. AGA, CD32. Fast as possible. There we go. That was the thing I needed to do, set on fast as possible. This is the Amiga operating system. This is the Amiga 3.1 Workbench, I think is what it's called. It's really interesting. I haven't had like a huge look around here, but this is the operating system. And on my Amiga CD32, if I put this drive in the CD32 with the terrible fire, this is what it will boot to on the console. It won't. If I put a CD32 game in, it'll just boot the CD32 game, but otherwise it boots this. So I don't know what like most of this stuff does. I know how to start games. That's all I've managed to work out. But
that's all you need it for, right?
Yeah, like I'd like to really explore some Amiga apps just from interest, because it's such a different operating system. So if I open work, see, I've got all these. I've got Xcopy. I don't know what these like. That's a copying thing. That's a disk operating system. Sorry, disk operation thing. Dopus. Go ADF. What's that? Go ADF. Registered to. Please register. Directory image. Disk to ADF. Oh, okay. So this is to create. Oh, mount. Please read any. Oh, is this already got an ADF disk mounter? Let me see if I've got some ADF files. These will be all the. They'll be all the WHD load ones, which I'll show you how I get to them later. But this one I want. IDE Max, IDE Fix, Glue, Doom, IDE, PD Games. Alright, I don't have any ADF things, but what I can do, actually, let me see if I can work this out. I can go to hard drives. I can add a directory. Device name. We'll call it PC. Point labeled PC. And I'll put my ADF games, ADF B. Let's go with all of the B games. Okay. Okay. Now will that come up? Well, I need to reset. I might need a reset, so let's go reset. There we go. Alright, so I've got some ADF files there. So let's go back to go ADF. Let's go back. PC. Okay. Here we are. Let's see if I load. Let's see if how this works, hey? Let's mount. I just want to find something, a game that I'm at least semi-familiar with. Bubble Bobble. There we go. Bubble Bobble. Load. Mount. It's doing stuff. It's thinking. Or it's crashed. Loading, loading, loading. Now, so, okay. So this has opened a separate window with WinUAE. Awkward Aardvark, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. WinUAE crashed, has it? Oh. Bugger. So that didn't work, is what you're trying to tell me. I think I can still F12 and reset it. Whoop. Oh crap, I just closed the whole thing. This is one of those things I'm not familiar with. Anyway, hello Awkward Aardvark. I'm assuming you're from the Amiga channel. It's great to have you here. Ah, I didn't save everything. Did it save it? No. 680-30. Fast as possible. JIT. AGA. CD32. We're just mucking around with the existing drive. And then I need to save these settings at some point. 2 meg. I want to tell it I've got some fast RAM. 32 meg is fine for now. Alright, let me save. Let me save this because I always do it. Configuration. Save. Hang on. Save as. CD32. Terrible Fire 330 default. This is my existing. So load. That should keep all of this the same. I might not be doing all the right settings. I apologize. This might be really, I'm not going to say awkward, but difficult for you to watch Aardvark. It's all new to me, so I'm getting there though. Okay, so that's all done. So let's start. Oh, that's interesting. Why is that? Have I done something different? It's just loading the CD32 now. Oh, I haven't mounted a drive. Bloody tool bag I am. Hard drive, add hard drive. It's that one. Add. Okay, let's just resave that. There, save. And reset. That's better. I thought I'd done something wrong. Let's make this nice and big for you all again. Alright. So Mount ADF doesn't like me. That's to be taken as accurate. What is this? Oh, this is the unable to firmly, yeah, okay. I don't know, I want to get out of this. That's like the benchmarking application, I'm assuming. Which Amiga? Evaluating system. 680-30 MMU. The computer's an Amiga CD32. Okay. Anyway, so we won't try the ADF thing again. But yeah, basically, if I wanted to play a game from my understanding of how this is set up, is currently, and we're about to start the fresh setup on this compact flash, but just to kind of show how this works as best as I can understand of it. Xbench appears to be the best way to do it. I'm just gonna stop my music because this is about to make a whole bunch of sound as well.
What is it?
Anyway, let's see. I'm pretty sure I have this all hopefully saved so that it will have all the launchers still on there. So that's my top list. Yeah. So I've got a whole bunch of games on here already. So I could pick like, I don't know, let's just go with... These are all the WHD load games. Let's play... Crazy Cars 2. And that should just load.
That doesn't look like a crazy car. It looks like a normal car.
It's a Ferrari F40.
They're crazy!
And I don't have a gamepad. Oh, that looks wrong. Whoa, Jesus. You sure it's not crazy?
Okay, that looks...
Something's gone a bit funny with the graphics in this one.
That looks perfect.
No, I don't think there's supposed to be green on my Ferrari.
That's just racist.
Games don't like JIT. Ah, okay. I see. So if I go turn off JIT. But do I not need that for the CD32? Or is that only for when I'm setting everything up? Oh, I need to reset it as well. Is that only for when I'm setting everything up? I'm gonna try and... I've turned JIT off now. I'm just gonna try and reopen that particular game and see if it does the same thing. Because yeah, the thing is I'm following a YouTube guide. I've watched a bunch. Just make emulation plus. Oh, okay. So good for setup, but not great for actual operation. Gotcha. I'm just gonna see. I've turned it off. I'm just gonna see if I run Crazy Cars 2 if I get the same issue or not. Whilst that's, I'm gonna open this up whilst that's loading. Get my compact flash card out and ready to roll. I don't think it was JIT. Actually, yeah, see the actual image looks funny. Kaboom. Oh, anyway. So how do I want to quit? Oh, I didn't want to quit altogether. Cycle exact. Yeah, okay. That's fine. The use case is not for me to be using it through WinUAE, but out of interest, I'll see. So if I tell it approximate cycle exact 680 cycle exact, no JIT. Oh, hang on. No, sorry. I load my configuration. Oh, God. Let's fix that up. I load my configuration. Let's go back, turn off JIT, and make it cycle exact, and reset. Might take a little while to boot, actually. With that, would it not? Chipset page. Oh, cycle exact. Right, okay. Reset. The thing is now actually waiting for it to boot. It seems to take a while. If, check that on. There we go. Let's see. Xbench. Software fire. Program failed. Oh, sorry, it's already doing it. I opened it twice like a lunatic. CPU speed settings can be changed without reset. Ah, okay. Oh, that's okay. after this test, because it's just out of interest, we're then going to put this compact flash in, and we're going to try and set up Amiga OS 3.9, I think. Yeah, Amiga OS 3.9. And hopefully it will all happily work. And if I have to, I can drag over the CRT. Oh, look, you're right. Yeah, right. Now the graphics all look correct. Nice, thank you, Aardvark. It's much appreciated. Is there like I gotta change gears or something? One of these buttons. Whoop. I think I'm on low gear. Something will change high gear.
You're going too slow.
Trying to find the button that lets me change to high gear. It'll be something. Some one of these buttons. No. I can't find the button. But spacebar. There we go. Oh Jesus! Oh God! Yeah, okay. There we go. Ah!
Take the off ramps.
Oh Jesus! I can't keep on the road.
Don't look at the chat.
Oh God! Yay! Awesome. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Aardvark. Alright. Said print screen to exit.
Oh, you're stuck. You can never escape.
Ah! Let me out! Kaboom! Alright. That's fine. We are... So we're going to start from scratch. Now we don't even start WinUIE yet. So I'm just going to plug this in. And then we're going to start working out how to set this all up for our CD32. 128 gig drive. Alright, so we're going to be watching this video. This is the one that appears to make the most sense to me, and I apologize again, like, I'm a real noob when it comes to Amiga. I've done a lot of other stuff, like I'm not a complete fool, like I've got a Windows 98 computer that I've set up all by myself. You know, I grew up with Windows 98, I grew up with DOS really, then Windows 95. Amigas are just a little bit unique, and it's a bit hard to go back, you know, at 37 years old to something you've never even looked at how it works before and try and puzzle it out. So we'll start that in a second. Alright.
The Amiga CD32. It's absolutely no secret that it's possibly one of our favourite consoles here in CRG. In fact, I'd maybe go so far as to say it is my favourite console.
Okay.
Definitely my favourite Amiga though. And it's absolutely perfect for this setup.
I'll skip ahead a little bit. Then he talks about how good Xbench is, which we saw.
Clean it. So if we
Okay.
click down here in Windows 10, we can type CMD, so command prompt, and then we can run disk part.
Is that right?
Here we want to
Did I
list
miss something?
the CF. So
I just want to make sure I haven't missed something as we go.
let's get our CF card set up. We're on the Windows PC here.
You can correct him as we go, Aardvark, if you like. Alright.
First thing we need to do is clean it. So if we click down here in Windows 10, we can type CMD,
Disk
command
part.
prompt, and then we can run disk part. And here we want to list disk. And in this instance, it is disk 6 that we are looking.
Is it disk 4? Is that what I want? iDrive. I've got 5 discs. Oh, okay, 0. 119. Yeah, okay. Disk 4. Yep.
4, which is our 8 GB CF card. So we select disk 6, and then we want to clean that disk. Be very sure you're cleaning the correct disk. If I was to clean, say, disk 0 on this, well, it would be a bad day. Right, so disk cleaned, type exit, exit. We're going to need some files to do this, so first of all, if you take a look in the description below, you'll see a Dropbox link to a zip file which contains this folder.
Yeah, I've got that.
And this has various bits and pieces in it that we're going to be using today. I want you to open this README file, just leave it in the corner of the screen.
Alright, I do have that folder. Yeah, let's see. Where did I put it? This folder, there we go. This is, he's got all this extra information that's useful for us.
Under Kickstarts in here,
I've got all my Kickstarts here. So different stuff.
These are the A500 Kickstart and the A1200 Kickstart, so that's Kickstart 1.3 and Kickstart.
I think from memory he
obtain them yourselves.
says you can use the 1200 Kickstart anyway, but I'm going to use the CD32 one to start with. So I'm already going off script, but that's should be okay.
And if you do have them, stick them into this Kickstarts folder along with the. You also, and we're going to need some WHD load games and demos.
Sorry.
And the Workbench 3.1 discs. Again, they're part.
Oh, do I have them? Oh, hang on. Did I do that? This is the point where I go whoopsies. They should be on here, should they not?
We haven't had dinner, have we?
I mean, I sort of have.
What did we have?
You had sushi and chips, and I had chicken, and it
Wasn't that lunch?
It was at 4:30. Anyway,
Important questions.
Amiga files, systems. So these are. Shared is what I want, I think. ADF. Yeah, there you go. Amiga OS 3.1 Workbench. Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. I've got them. Nobody panic.
Forever.
I need.
And we're going to need some WHD load games.
And I've got them as well.
If you do a Google search for those, you should find links to the EAB FTP server, where you can just
So many
download
files already
games
open.
or individual games, whatever you want. Right. UAE. We're running this as administrator. I already have.
Alright, sorry. I've already lost track. UAE, run as administrator. Alright.
That up here, but I'll show you quickly how to do that. So CPU, FPU, we want to go 030, we want to turn on JIT fast as possible. Chipset, we're going to set this to AGA, and chipset extra, we're going to set to 1200.
So he does 1200. I'm going to do CD32. We'll see how we go.
Not worried about that. ROM, we're going to change this to Kickstart 3.1, A1200.
So we've got 3.1, but for the CD32.
RAM, we're going to give it 2 meg chip RAM, no
Yep.
slow RAM, and 64 meg
64 meg of Z3 fast RAM.
bytes of Z3 fast.
And floppy drives.
Floppy drive, we'll just turn on all 4 of these for now, and then set the floppy drive speed to turbo. We'll come back to this in a minute. CD and hard drive, we're going to add
Okay, add.
our CF card. So it's this one here in our instance, so it's 7.6 gig scan disk.
Funk Tech. So so hang on. So he's already got RDB, and I don't. I have unknown. So has he skipped a bit?
And down here you must change this to Commodore IDE.
So he says change it to Commodore IDE, but I've been using it as UAE. So again, a little bit off script. Okay, add.
We'll also add our PC directory. Don't need a bootable. And just select PC directory wherever it is on your hard drive. Right, before we go any further, we will save our configuration. So I have called this CD32.
Right, so save as. We'll call this one CD32 fresh install.
To CF card. Click save. That's that. Right, back to floppy drives. And we're going to be using our Workbench 3.1 and the install floppy.
Oh, the install floppy. Install. Yep.
And we can click start. Okay, here we are. We have a RAM disk or installed it.
Alright, so his is. There we go, there's mine.
And our PC floppy. Don't worry about these. We will sort this out in a minute. Right, so install and HD tools. We are going to open our HD toolbox and change drive type. If there's anything in here, just delete it.
Right, I've got no drive here.
Need to define new and reconfiguration.
So, which IDE device I selected? So let's go back. So I selected this. Now the difference is for him, so let me just remove it and I'll do it again. For him it came up as an RD thing, but mine did not. So I'm pretty sure I have to do another step on this. Now there is another, you're gonna get to see my YouTube history. There is another, is it IDE or UAE? I've set it to, whoops. I left it as UAE. He did say to set it as IDE. I think from memory. I'll go back and see what he said.
Here you must change this to Commodore IDE.
So he changes it to Commodore. It's currently set to UAE. It's a, is it IDE or UAE? Yeah, so UAE is what I've selected. Let me just, while I await any comment, I'm going to look back to my history. How do I get there? History. God, I hate YouTube. Where's the history button? Library, that's right. Change the HD tool type to...
That's not.
Can... Oh,
Want me to check
why
it?
is it? I think it's...
You can check. I don't think it is.
I think it is.
No.
It has to be. I'm sure you didn't write HT tool type to asterisk ice.
Don't think there's any-
HD tool type.
Well, then you.
Sorry, I don't know what you mean by HD tool type.
Oops. HD toolbox.
Change HD toolbox. So sorry, let me just. Whoop. Sorry, HD toolbox. Yep. What am I changing?
Yeah.
information. Oh, okay. Is that up here? Yep. Ah, right. I need to change this. To... Is it just, to... I remember seeing this in another video. I changed this to UAE.device, is that correct? Or do I change it to something else? I think this guy actually covers it from memory.
He said UAEHF device.
UHEHF device. Enter. Save. HD toolbox. There we go. Oh, why have I got two? Oh, now I'm worried. Cancel, so it's not that. Is it this? Can't read device size. I'm a little bit worried as to why I have two. Let me just remove that for the time being. Let's see what happens if I do this one. Yep, okay. Okay. Then partition. Whoa, okay, everything's gone jerky. Oh dear.
No, not but jerky.
Do not like. Okay. Try that again. Yep.
What animal is
Partition.
the jerky?
Okay, I get the feeling this is it. Alright. Not that video, this video.
We'll also add our PC directory. Are installed into your. If there's anything in here, just delete it. In new and reconfiguration. Okay and okay. Continue. Now we will partition this drive. So this just cuts this 8 gig drive in half, gives us two 3.9 gig partitions there. So just delete that one. This partition we're going to call D80. We're going to change this to about 500 meg. That'll do. And we're going to use that for workbench.
I've lost the.
WSD load, all those bits.
I've lost the little arrow. New partition. Oh, I don't really. This is really giving me a headache. Okay. It's that. Partition. Delete partition. Delete partition. Oh, this is really... Why is everyone else having no problem?
Funky things.
Is it because I've got that JIT business on? Is this my problem?
Is JIT your business?
Is JIT my problem? Let's turn JIT off. Let's just go... Turn off that. Turn off that. And tell it to do cycle exact. I know it's going to be slow. Oh yeah, look, there we go. It's not going all funky now. Alright, let's just go back and let's... How do I... Delete. Okay. Define. Read configuration. Continue. Yep. Okay. Okay. Continue. Partition. No, it's going all funky again. Partition. So yeah, let's like make one at about new partition there. New partition there. I don't know what that... Why is this all funky? What am I doing wrong? Why does mine not look like his? So when he opens it, his looks like that. I can't select this partition at all. Except that happens. Alright, oh jeez. This isn't happy at all. I'm going to go to this guy. Because his...
And select a workbench 2.1 and we will
So he's installing a different thing.
Okay. Wasn't this pretty? Bug. Select the drive you just made and click properties.
Alright.
Wasn't this set to 0 before? Well, it isn't now, so change it back to 0 and click OK. This will happen later in the process, and we will ignore it the second time around.
Let's just go back on this guy's...
I am selecting the 3.1 A1200 for fast RAM.
Yep.
Disks. Do not select any disks yet, but change the speed slider to turbo. From my PC that I showed you. The device name is the drive designation like DH0, DH1, and the volume label is the name that appears in Workbench under the
Let's try
icon.
this again. Select directory.
Click something unique here.
Yep,
I will
on
enter
that.
PC1 and Utilities. Then click Select Directory and find your folder. Be sure to uncheck the adding the Amiga drive yet. Now watch me enter as I didn't happen to in UAE and you would do weatheration. We can add our Amiga drive. Go back to CD and hard drives, click Add Hard Drive and select your new Amiga drive from the drop-down. You will notice that it says UNK for unknown drive type because we wiped the volume information from it earlier. You want this to be drive 0 and you want to select UAE for the device driver. Many other tutorials show this as being IDE or Commodore or SCSI, but I have never gotten it to work unless I selected UAE. Now, before we proceed, let me show you a bug. Select the drive you just made and click Properties. Wasn't this set to 0 before? Well, it isn't now, so change it back to 0 and click OK. This will happen later in the process, and we will ignore it the second time.
Okay.
Next, go to floppy drives and select a Workbench 2.1 or higher install disk.
Yep.
I am selecting 3.1 for my CD32. For this tutorial, we need to use Commodore's
I'm gonna try this
HD
tutorial
toolbox
instead.
included in the later versions of Workbench. This may not work for every third-party hard drive controller, but I have tried HD Toolbox on a GBP Accelerator hard drive controller with success, and it also works with the Terrible Fire CD32 accelerator. So it might be worth a shot for your controller. Now we have everything set up for our first boot. Click Start to start the Amiga emulation.
Crash detected. Oh, what's gone wrong there? Alright. Let's go to our configurations, load that, and then we'll just check it. 680/30 fastest. Change that back to 0. We've got the install. Okay.
Loads pretty fast on that turbo floppy speed. Here you can see the floppy that we booted from, and the utilities drive that we added.
Okay.
But notice there is no icon for our new Amiga
Does this
drive.
help?
This is normal.
Maybe.
Let us proceed to the next step.
DFC.
Oops, it looks like I had a different name for the
Someone
utilities
drank my
drawer in
coffee.
this book.
Did someone drink your
It
coffee?
should say utilities instead of PC1 based upon what I just showed you. Okay, so let's get to HD Toolbox. Instead of opening it right away, we need to change something. Left click it once, hold down the right mouse button, and select Icons Information from the menu. We need to change the SCSI device name to UAEHF.device.
UAEHF.device, yep.
Press enter, then click save. Now we can open it with a double click and see our new Amiga drive. Click change
Oh, that looks
drive.
better.
I have an old type in here, so we're just going to delete it. And then we're going to click define new. Click read configuration and continue.
Looking much better. Okay.
Didn't set the proper variable
Excellent.
for drives of this size.
I'm gonna follow this guide for a little bit.
Simply press OK and then OK again. Now we need to partition the drive.
Ah. Now mine works
On
perfect.
this screen we have two equal sized partitions and I want to
That's
change
good.
that. Note that black means selected. I'm going to delete the second partition and resize the first to under 500 megs and name it something I desire. And don't forget to press enter. Now if you wish to keep the default file system, known as the fast file system, you are done with this partition and can create more partitions on this screen very
But I
easily.
don't. I want the other partition file system, don't I? Hang on. What does this thing say about that?
So this just cuts this 8 gig drive in half, gives us two.
Because I want to use PFS3 AIO.
This partition, which we're going to call D80, we're going to change this to about 500 meg up to. And we're going to use that for Workbench, Xbench, WSD load, all those bits and pieces. But we are going to change this file system. So it's currently International Fast File System. We're going to change that to Professional File System 3. So click here, Advanced Options. Then we need to add the new file system. Click that. Add new file system. And it's stored in the root of our PC directory. So repeat.
Right. Did I add my PC directory? Yeah, PC.
PC, PFS3 AIO, enter. Okay. We need to change this DOS type. If you refer to the README file, you'll see it there at the top of it. So it's 0x5046503. And enter to confirm. Click OK.
Oop, why has mine got two? What did his show two?
Okay. Then we need to change file systems. Click here. PFS. Then we need to change file systems. Click here. PFS3. Now change this max transfer to again what it says in the README file. 0x1FE00. Now you must press enter to confirm. Don't press enter and just click OK. You'll see it hasn't accepted the change here.
Okay.
Then enter, click OK, then you can see it remembers it. Right, we need another couple of partitions on this drive. So new partition. Click here again. Now, due to a limitation of this AC toolbox, we cannot have a partition over 4 gigabytes in size, and it's recommended to keep it under 3,900 megabytes. So we'll just make this partition 3888. We're going to call this DH1.
Okay, hang on. Why is it not? So, yep, custom blah blah blah. New partition in there. Okay, yep, cool. And then we'll make that about half the size. Alright, we're getting there. Then we've got to change that to that. Change file to 1FE00. Enter, okay. Change it to DH1. Enter.
We need to change our file system again. We also need to change this max transfer. We have one more. Let's change the rest of the drive.
Okay, here we go. We're making progress.
Now you can use partitions bigger than this. If you remember back
Okay.
to our Amiga hard
Right,
drive,
so we'll continue.
we set up an 80.
I think we'll continue with this guy. That's bootable, that's not, and that's...
Once finished,
Yeah,
just
okay.
click OK and click Save Changes to Drive. Then you want to skip the next step, where I illustrate how to install a different file system and proceed to step 6. However, I do strongly recommend changing the file system.
Oh, now he shows how to do it on his. So I'll just check his as well. We use 2 guides, and between the 2 of them,
There
we'll
are
get this
two
going.
well-known alternatives to the fast file system. Known as Smart File System and Professional File System, they are both good alternatives. It's up to you which one you prefer. The setup is pretty much the same. The main reason I choose using an alternate file system is now that we are dealing with larger drives and more data, the fast file system makes some drive operations painfully slow. However, the fast file system is more robust.
So I might
Not
skip
an
ahead a
issue as
little
much
bit on...
these days because of cheaper backup options. So go click Add Update. Utilities or PCC1 colon.
What you need is one solid guide. Ugh. They're both really good. I think the issue is... you're right. But it's a combination of, like... Amigas, to me, are completely foreign. Like, all of this is... It's not like DOS that I'm used to. It's not like Windows. It's not like anything like that. And it's also currently running on an emulator that's pretending to be my Amiga CD32 on a compact flash card, and which is bigger than the Amiga ever expected to see. And there's a whole, and because it's emulated and I'm running it faster, like it's the whole thing is pretending to be a lot faster than like what an Amiga should be. So things get a bit funky as well on top of that. But because if I ran it like at normal speed, doing processes like this for a 128 gigabyte drive, which isn't that big by today's standards, would take an Amiga, like an actual Amiga, yonks, to sort out. Because the processor's only 50 megahertz, a 608030. So what are we at the moment? Like current, like new stuff is like 5.4 gigahertz, so 5,400 megahertz, and this is a 50 megahertz thing. So it's different thing. But these guides are good, and I think like it clearly works for them. But then like you add in anything slightly different, and like stuff just goes. It just goes bonkers. It doesn't like yeah. You're like yeah. It's cool. Welcome. It's great to have you here, Kit Kat. Love to see you here. Alright, I'm going to continue on trying to work out what the next step is. So this is the bit I've already done.
Then press OK.
I'm not gonna do the other
On the next dialog, you need to set
So,
the
yep, the
DOS
file system, I've set that up. Yep,
Let's pull that through.
and then I've done that and I've
Don't
fixed
forget to
up
press Enter.
the max transfer.
Now just
I feel like I want to check. Can I, let me just check. 1FE00, 1FE00, 1FE00. Alright, I've got that on all of them, which is correct. That's the thing that's here, right? 1FE00. Alright, cool. Alright, yeah. Good. Save.
You will notice the aforementioned variable scope error is also present in the partition slider. It isn't a concern unless you want to know exactly what size the partition is when it is over about 4 gigs. Most people don't need precision here and can estimate based upon the slider position. Once completed,
And then, are we now installing? Remount the Amiga drive. Oh, okay. So I've done all of that.
in the last step we changed our new drive from a clean wiped drive to an Amiga drive.
We did.
WinUAE does not know this, however, so proceed
Oh, no.
as follows. Press
I'm assuming I
F12
do
to
that.
bring up the
Yep.
WinUAE interface and click Quit. Then restart WinUAE. We will select our configuration that we saved and click Load. Now if you remember, we did not save this configuration with a floppy disk inserted, so select one now. And we also did not save it with the new drive, so go to CD and hard drives and
Aha!
add it.
It says RDB instead of unknown.
This time notice in the drop down that it no longer says
Success?
UNK for
Progress?
Well, good
Rather, it
progress.
says RGB
Proggin.
as a disk block.
Proggin Amiga
Select
Savage.
it, confirm that it says UAE device and click Add Hard Drive. Now you can see that WinUAE did indeed change this value to 1 again, but this time leave it as is. It's okay.
Okay, alright. And
Now click
floppies?
Start to start the
No, didn't he say I want to do things with floppies? He said something floppies.
floppy disk inserted, so select one.
Oh yeah, the install. Yeah.
And we also did rearrange that 1 again.
Alright. Ooh, hey, look, there's my drives!
Off the floppy.
DH0, DH1, and DH2.
Wait a few seconds and your partitions should appear on the desktop. If for some reason they do not, please review the previous steps in the video. In
Yay.
particular, performing the last step properly is crucial.
It should be
So
empty.
now we just need to
Oh,
format these
Nothing
drives.
happened. I've got to format them.
Super
Okay.
easy. Just select a drive with one left click, hold down the right mouse button, move up to the menu and select Icons, Format Disk. Name your partition and select Quick Format.
Quick format. Okay. And then I'm going to do it with these other ones. So drive 1 will be probably games 1 and games 2, I guess. This one will take longer because it's bigger, and that one, icons format, games 2. Okay, done. Alright.
With the other compatible with the Amiga. And once you install Workbench, you have an Amiga that will boot from it.
Install Workbench. And then I think I want to install Amiga OS 3.9 over the top, so we'll see how that goes.
If you want to install Workbench 2.1 or 3.1, simply continue from this point by starting the installer from the floppy disk. Switch disks when needed.
Which printer devices? No.
However, I'm going to concentrate on installing
Key
Amiga
maps.
OS 3.9, which is a little tricky. I just have the downloaded version in an ISO CD image format. Now I've had no luck mounting the ISO image of any CD using WinUAE for some
Oh, so
reason.
wait, so hang on.
The process seems straightforward.
Is
so I'm
he
not sure
saying,
why. But
let's,
here's a good alternative. I placed the ISO CD image on the desktop and also made a new folder called Amiga OS 3.
so, he's just gone straight for Amiga OS 3.9, I think. So maybe that's what I should do. Amiga OS 3.9 open. Okay.
9. Now what I plan to do is extract the ISO image into this folder. Now if you simply double click this ISO image, a folder
Okay, I'm
opens
gonna
up
skip
with
ahead on his
files.
video because mine appears to have
Behind
mounted
main
fine.
files, the will be connect not the but use the workbench disk. Oh, and uncheck the bootable box. Now we are going to boot with a 3.1 floppy, but use the workbench disk this time, not the install disk.
Okay. Hang on, cancel, cancel. So he wants the workbench disk and then reset. Workbench, reset.
I'm not sure why the icon for emergency boot appears here, but no matter. Here's our Amiga OS 3.9 disk. Now we just need to create an emergency boot disk so we can boot from it to install OS 3.9.
Ooh, why am I not getting it? So it came up a second ago there and now it will not. Why is that? Interesting. CD0, yep, Amiga.iso, I saw that. Okay, that came up down the bottom there. Why am I not getting... Why am I not getting it come up? Interesting. What if I... So before, I booted off the install floppy. Let's see if that makes a difference at all. CD0 Amiga OS 39. So now I've done it off the install floppy. And I don't get... okay, so maybe I have to run with his trick.
Including LHA, the most common Amiga archive. And it's free.
Okay. What's happening?
So we are good to go. Well, not quite.
Oh, okay.
Switch disks when needed.
Why did he not wanna... Why am I getting this?
However, I'm going to concentrate on installing Amiga OS straightforward. I replaced the ISO CD image on the desktop and also made a new folder called Amiga OS 39. Now what I plan to do is extract the ISO image into this folder. Now if you simply double click this ISO image, a folder opens and shows you the contents. Behind the scenes, Windows 10 natively supports ISO disk images and actually mounts them as drives instantaneously. Now couldn't I just copy these files to the new folder I made? You would think so, but Windows 10 doesn't like me, so... Remember me whining earlier about WinUAE's error system? Well, how do you like this unspecified error as useful information? So we're going to cancel this and delete these files because I don't know where it left off. Fortunately, reading disk images on a PC predates Windows' ability to do so. You just need a utility to perform this task properly. I have been using 7-zip for years, and it works great on ISO images and all of the archives I've ever
Maybe I should grab 7-zip.
LHA, the most common.
I mean, it looks like it's all there.
Amiga archive. And it's free.
Just didn't like some of the file names and it couldn't rename them, so actually maybe it's fine. So let's see.
You need to name it to mount this folder as a hard drive in our WinUAE application. You need to name it Amiga OS 3.9, just as you see it here.
And we'll get that.
Oh, and uncheck the bootable box.
Okay.
Now we are going to boot with a 3.1 floppy, but use the workbench disk this time, not the install disk.
Alright, so I'll swap to the workbench disk. And then reset. Hey, Amiga OS 3.9. It's happy now.
I'm not sure why the icon for emergency boot appears here, but no matter. Here's our Amiga OS 3.9 disk. Now we just need to create an emergency boot disk so we can boot from it to install OS 3.9. Just run the install for 3.9 and there's an option for it. It looks like it's doing nothing, but just wait.
Okay. Alright, his is slower.
We need to create a blank disk for the OS 3.9 installer. Press F12 and on the floppy drives page of WinUAE, there's an option to create a blank ADF disk image. We just need to save it somewhere.
Or use the word that he does.
Then, we can select it for DF1 and return to the Amiga to proceed. Let's just verify it's there by checking the desktop.
I don't know how to check the desktop.
There it is. So now we can proceed.
Empty. Yep. I think it's working.
That's good.
Here is our new emergency disk. Now we just need to boot from it. Press F12 and eject DF1. And switch DF0 to our new emergency disk. Then click Reset to reboot the Amiga.
Got it. Alright, we're getting there. Interesting thing will be when I put this actually into the Amiga, see what happens. Ooh, can't load Helvetica font.
Now we can see the OS 3.9 environment for the first time. Ignore this emergency whatever. Open the Amiga OS 3.9 drive again and start the installation. We are on the home stretch now.
Want full installation? Yep. Install for real. Which should it be installed? TF0 Amiga. Proceed. English. No printer drivers. Just American key maps. Yes. I think it's working.
What's older, an Atari or an Amiga?
That's not a simple question. So the Amiga CD32 that I'm currently is the console that I'm using, came out in '92. Whereas Ataris were out well before that. An Atari console or an God. Okay, let's Google. Question was what's older?
Is yes the answer?
No. So
But
Atari computers. The Atari 8-bit computer, the first one came out in 1979. Amiga desktop computers. The first one I think was the Amiga 1000.
okay.
Hey, Dax! 1985. So the Atari desktop computer is older than the Amiga. There you go.
Okay.
Sorry, what does this say? Insert your boot disk. Hey, Dax. Oh, I should need to give you a shout out, Dax, before I forget. Which mouse and keyboard do I need? Oh, God! Everything's fucked. Here we go. Welcome, Dax. Dax Jackson. You were playing Dark Souls, if I recall correctly. Yeah. I think I caught up to the end of your stream from memory. You're finishing up. It's lovely for you to come in. We are setting up So we're setting up... there's a whole bunch of stuff we did. So, let me try and get you up to speed quickly. We had a bunch of cool stuff that turned up. You didn't get to find out what it was. Some of them was EverDrives. Some of it was like circuit boards and stuff to do all sorts of different things. We have a Amiga CD32 with what's called a Terrible Fire, which lets it pretend to be an Amiga desktop PC. Runs off a compact flash card. This is running Amiga Workbench 3.1, I think, and has a whole bunch of games on it from the Amiga 500 and all that kind of stuff. We're now trying to install Amiga OS 3.9 on a 128 gig compact flash card so that we can do more fun stuff. 3.9's got cool stuff like ADF, which is Amiga disk file, virtual drive mounting and stuff like that. So rather than requiring WHD load for everything, if there's a game we want to play that doesn't have a WHD load installer, we can get the ADF files, do a virtual mount, and do it that way. That's what we're doing at the moment. So it's through an emulator right now, which is set up to pretend to be an Amiga CD32 with a Terrible Fire. But yeah, it's going good. I think we're getting there. Let me just see. Does he get the same message that I've gotten?
You may not need to install these on my That is it.
Alright, so mine is saying, this sounds cool. It's complicated and complicated. Anyone who knows what they're doing with an Amiga probably doesn't find this complicated. I have no idea what I'm doing. So for me, it's a little bit complicated, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm really keen to get the Amiga CD32, which is over there at the moment, running with this, but I don't have an Amiga mouse yet. So, or a mouse that I can plug into the Amiga CD32, so I can boot to see that it opens Amiga OS 3.9, but I can't do anything with it yet, except on this emulator. I'm still waiting for that to turn up in the mail. But I did get the RGB cables for it, which are here, for the Amiga, which is really cool. So I can plug that into the CRT happily. Please insert your boot disk into the drive. If you booted, that you booted from, and then click proceed. It's already in, click proceed. Is now complete. Okay, so Remove all disks from the floppy drive and select proceed.
You may not need to install these.
Eject.
On my 18000, I had to use the ASIM CDF.
And I should be able to click proceed.
ROM driver. And my CD32 didn't require anything.
I don't want to go too far ahead of him because it'll... Actually, let's just do this. That looks fine. Amiga-DOS.
That is it. We are completely done with the install.
Oh, I've got to reboot.
Press F12 and eject TF0 and come back to click proceed.
Do I just click
We are
reset?
now going to boot from our new Amiga drive with OS 3.9.
What's gone wrong? Oh no. Mine's just booting to Amiga-DOS. Why is mine just booting to Amiga-DOS? Hard drive, UAE properties set to be... Yep. I had set the first drive to be bootable. I've got a Kickstart ROM. I've got it. I've got Amiga OS installed. I don't know any of the Amiga DOS controls. Alright, let's see if he gives us another step. Oh, so his is all working. He's copying shit.
Then move on to window, snapshot up, copy, eject all these disks. Install and 3.1 confirms it's going to press this in here, in there. It's finished. There it is, some file, leave it up there, read me. New thing. Okay.
What have I done wrong? Something's gone wrong.
Click project.
Hum, her, hum, her, hum.
Okay, so we'll just quickly check that has worked. So open workbench, system and shell, and we'll just type version SCSI.device. That confirms it's now using SCSI.device 43.45.
This is the problem. When something goes wrong, I don't know what's
We
wrong.
need to install some more software. So open PC again.
Do I need to have installed Workbench first? Do I need a...
That stupid emergency boot icon is still stuck there. Gonna and come back to click proceed. We are now going to boot and come back to click proceed.
So I've got
We are
no
now gonna boot from
floppies
our
in.
new Amiga drive with OS
We'll get rid of
3.9.
the CD drives. Reset. No, mine's still booting into Amiga DOS. Why is mine? Let's go back.
If you want,
So he installed all of Workbench first.
switch disks when 9, which is a little. However, I'm going to concentrate on installing Amiga OS 3.9.
So he talks about, okay, maybe, I don't know if Awkward Aardvark, are you still here or not? If you are, I need to know whether or not I'm supposed to be installing Workbench first, because he says, however, so I'm assuming that I don't, but maybe I do, and maybe that's why that's booting into Amiga DOS. So let's try that. let's try it anyway. So let's go floppy drives. I need Workbench install and reset. Okay, let's do that. Install, proceed, install, install, install. Do you want install on the PC partition? No. I want it to be installed on the Amiga partition. Proceed. 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 Oop, hang on. Many files for the system under early release. Delete automatically. Let's see how this goes. Please insert the Amiga Workbench disk in any floppy drive. So let's go Workbench, and then let's grab. I don't know what's next. So Workbench, okay, proceed. There we go. Alright, while this is doing this, because we want the Amiga locale. So I'm going to try and install this Workbench first. I may have to start this whole process again because I've installed OS 3.9 and now I'm installing Workbench. We'll see. Amiga fonts. And admittedly, it did complain about it couldn't find a particular font, so that's fine. Maybe this will solve our problem, and then maybe we've got to go back and reinstall 3.9 again. Storage. And Amiga install. Okay, so I think that's now installed. So now I should be able to eject that and reset, and it will boot into Workbench. I'm just guessing at this point. Alright. Amiga boot into Amiga DOS. Why is it not booting into Workbench? I dropped a thing. It's on the floor forever now. Okay, through a bit of blah 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 blah. Boot to the Workbench animation. Blah blah blah. Soft reset boots back to Amiga DOS. Remove hard drive. Boots to Workbench animation. So DIR says no chip. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. So it wants me to check if make sure the first drive is set to be bootable. So let's go into no, I need the other disk. I need the install disk. Nope, that's not what I want. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm getting the hang of things. Oh, I've got this new things now. Partition. Bootable. Bootable tick. Yep. Okay.
Apparently there's a blood moon tonight.
And that's called, huh?
Apparently there's a blood moon tonight.
Oh, cool.
In about an hour.
In an hour.
Yes.
Maybe I need to change that to 0. Alright, hang on, let me exit. Okay. Let me change that to, I go restart. Let me change that back to 0. Right, and then let's start. Crash. Ah! Alright. Configuration, fresh install, load. Floppy, I want nothing. Hard drives, I want that at UAE 0. Ooh. Just to see if that makes a difference. Start. Alright, Amiga DOS. Amiga ROM, set patch has been installed. Oh. Position. The same bit of storage space work. Used to be a volume name and a device name, so they can't quite tell from the system 2.0 appears to be blank. Can you run list work workbench 2.0 shell? Previous owner. It's talking about previous owners. I'm the only owner. Anyway, system 2.0 indeed appears to be blank. Alright, let's give ourselves a floppy disk so we can boot into workbench and reset. So Amiga should have system. The stuff there. Workbench startup. Yep. So there's stuff in there. I don't think it's put... Hasn't put stuff where it shouldn't be. I don't think it's put anything in there. WB startup. And that's here. Alright, let's go back to our various...
This time we're going to install Dog, Help,
So he does a whole bunch of stuff there. After installing.
So open install, install folder, and 3.1. It's confirmed. Just want to this in here. It's okay.
No worries. Good night, Dax. Thanks again for hopping by. If anyone else hasn't checked out Dax, feel free to go check him out. He's really good to watch. Plays a whole bunch of PlayStation games. But yeah, thank you so much for coming by.
Way cooler.
Have a good sleep.
Than you.
Huh?
Way cooler. Dax is way cooler than you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
UAE will now boot to the CF card. There it is.
According to him, it'll just boot to the CF card. Mine won't. Installed. I'm going to put the install disk back in there. Install. I'm going to try this again. Alright, so let's check. Cancel. Alright, so I've only got the one drive. If I check the partitions, I've got one bootable drive, the custom file system. That is 1FE00, PFS03. I've got DH0, DH1, DH2. Right, it's bootable, it's primary boot. Okay. Alright. Let's just clear this.
CF changes to drive. I need to reboot the system.
Alright, okay, once... Workbench. Alright, let's just format the Amiga drive. There's nothing else on any of the other drives. We're going to call it Amiga. We're not going to call it system because that's bad. Format, okay. So that should be empty. That should be empty. That should be empty. Okay. So now we're going to install Workbench again.
Okay. Our drive should appear here. There we are. So DH0, you want to click on it once to select it. Right, you want that. Install folder. English.
We'll try this again.
Proceed.
Install. Intermediate. Yep. Proceed.
This just confirms it's going to install release 3.1 on the workbench drive.
No.
No printers required.
Show drives. Amiga. Proceed.
Right, that's asking for
Hang on,
the
abort.
workbench disk. F12. Start
Let me just reset.
here.
Eject that.
While we have this,
Reset.
we'll just stick the storage in there. And local in there. Okay. Let it do it.
Let me just get rid of my PC drive here as well, actually, for now. Let me get rid of that.
The extras disk now.
Reset.
So F12 again. Let's finish the workbench, so we'll change that one to extras.
Okay, let's try this again. Install English. Proceed, install intermediate. Proceed into Amiga. Yes. Proceed. American proceed.
That's it. So just press
Alright,
F12
insert the
on
Amiga
the
workbench.
disks. And then click proceed. UAE will now boot to the CF card. There it is.
Alright, let's see how that goes. So now it's installing again onto the Amiga drive. So let's try this again. Whilst that's doing that, we'll play some nice music. And then we'll try, so we'll install this and then we'll try and install Amiga OS 3.9 over the top. Let's see if that works. Just want to get it booting into something first. Install the Amiga Extras disk. Amiga Extras. I didn't realize the music was you. You're just like, where's that trippy music coming from? What does it want? Fonts. Yeah, it's 8-bit electro music gaming chiptune music mix. And it's supposed to be not technically copyright free, but the owners of the music don't exercise their copyright, I believe. I've had issues before where that's not been 100% correct, but it's not so much of a problem on Twitch. It's more when I upload it to YouTube, so we'll see. Alright, so we're trying again. Just need to get this to boot into... Okay, remove the Amiga install disk from the problem and select proceed to reboot your Amiga. Okay, so let's get rid of all these disks. Proceed. Hey, we're in Workbench. Okay, we've made progress. Alright. So we're booting into Workbench.
Next thing we need to do is copy some files across.
So that's good. So he's going to go on and copy files. I'm going to now attempt... So, okay, we've got this far. Let's try and install Amiga OS 3.9. So, CD, let's see if it will be kind. If that works. So I've told it there's a CD, there we go. Install. So it's booting currently into Workbench. Actually, before I install this, I know if I reset I'm probably going to lose the disk. So let me just eject it. And then... oops. And then reset. And just make sure that this is going to boot. Okay, it's definitely booting into Workbench. We're good. So... we'll give it Amiga OS 3.9. Loading, as you can see down the bottom. And then will it open this time, or will it only do it the first time? No, it'll only do it the first time, so I'll have to do it the other way. So eject, add. I've got to go back to that other video.
Now, behind the scenes, earlier about scoring from zip from here, Ellie. Well, not for site. For our next step, let's mount this folder as a hard drive in our Win UAE application. You need to name it Amiga OS 3.9, just as you see it here.
Yep, select. Okay. Oh, I need to make it not bootable.
Now we are going to boot with a 3.1 floppy, but use the workbench disk this time, not the install disk.
So Amiga OS 3.1 workbench. Actually, no. Do I want to do that, or do I want to just reset? And then it should boot into workbench anyway. Then I'll run this. Okay, here we go. Full installation over OS 3.0. That feels correct. CD-ROM driver.
I'm not sure why the icon for emergency boot appears here.
Don't know.
but no
Proceed.
matter.
Please
Here's our
install an
Amiga
emergency
OS
boot
3.9
disk. You should boot from your emergency disk to make update or form. Please
So we can
install.
boot from it to install
Alright.
OS.
Okay, yeah, I've done that. So I want to
Run the install for 3.9. and
select
then
the
run
OS
it.
39 emergency boot
It
reset.
looks like it's doing nothing, but just wait.
Alright, here we go. Let's try this now. Cannot open UAHF. Intuition is attempting to reset the workbench. Please close all windows except for cancel. Cannot open.
Press F12, and on the floppy drives page of Win UAE, there's an option to create a blank ADF disk image. We just need to save it somewhere.
Full. Proceed. You should boot from your emergency
Select it
disk.
for DF1 and return to the Amiga.
Proceed.
Let's just
Accept.
verify it's there by checking the desktop.
Proceed.
There it is. So now we can proceed.
On which partition should it be installed? Show drives Amiga. Proceed. Let's make sure. Amiga. Proceed. 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 Proceed.
Here's our new emergency boot.
Yes.
Now we just need to boot from it.
Let's see how this goes
Press
now.
F12 and eject DF1. Then switch DF0 to our new emergency disk.
I'll do this while he's doing that.
Then click reset to reboot the Amiga.
Hopefully this will boot then into 3.9 and not Amiga DOS again. So I wonder if it was just upset that there was no workbench underneath it.
Now we can see the OS 3.9 environment for the first time. Ignore this emergency whatever. Open the Amiga OS 3.9 drive again and start installation.
Please insert your boot disk into the drive you booted from and then click proceed. Yes, it's already there. It's now complete. Click proceed to reboot. Don't go into an Amiga DOS. That's fine. We can sort that out later. So am I now in? If I eject that, let's just skip ahead, see what he does. Just reset.
That is it. We are completely done with the install. All we need to do is press F12 and eject DF0 and come back to
Ooh!
proceed.
I think I've done it!
We are now going to boot from our
I think I have Amiga OS 3.9 installed here. Alright. Okay. Hooray, I think, yeah.
pretty much done.
I think
Let's
too.
move to OS 3.9.
There's like stuff I can do, but I don't know. Oh, I can remove the CD. Yep. Remove,
That
okay.
stupid emergency boot icon is still stuck there.
Yep, that's
Let's
the same
click
problem I
reboot
have.
to get rid of it.
So he reboots.
One last thing. These icons are looking pretty yucky. Let's just fix them.
System
You want to pick at least
slowly trying to work out what is
Let's do 64.
going in.
I always try to be relatively conservative because more colors means more memory used.
Where to go? System?
Ones are looking pretty yucky. Let's just fix that.
Devs. System devs or system? System prefs. Do I have preferences? System. Ah, prefs. Screen mode? What do you... Hang on, I'm being pointed at. Yes?
Could you tell me the code? Thank you.
There it is.
Sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright. Colors.
You want to pick at least 32 colors for these icons. Let's do 64. I always try to be relatively conservative because more colors means more memory used.
Super high res. Use. You have not tested it. Okay, fine. Test. Yes, it looks good. Use. Oh, no, my colors.
Much better. So now we are
Why does his look much better and mine still looks like rubbish? What have I done wrong here? Preferences. Screen mode. 64 colors. Use. Mine won't change. Super high res. I tell it to use that. Does that actually change? Nope. Screen mode won't change. Why is that? No. Interesting. Save. Save? No, it doesn't like save. Let me just make sure I've just got the drive. Got no floppies, no nothing else. Alright, let me just reset. So his, as you can see, looks nice. Mine will not play nice. Amiga workbench. Storage. Just looking at everything now to see if I can work out if there's any. None of those tools seem to want to open. But I can open screen mode. But if I tell it to use that, it doesn't change. So interestingly,
one last.
he just has he just has system as a folder on his... Oh no, so that's his drive. My drive is called Amiga. Right.
Okay, these icons are looking pretty yucky. Let's just see. You want to pick at least 32 colors for these icons. Let's do 64. I always try to be relatively conservative because more colors means more memory used.
Let's see. Display. Let's turn that off. Super high res. Okay, let's see if it likes it now. Maybe there's some of the settings in there, perhaps. Use. No? Oh, I think I've locked up. Let's reset. Oh no. Let's drop it all together. Start, crash. It likes to crash on that second attempt. Load. Let's eject that and drop that for now. Start. Just trying to think if there's anything else I can think of to try. We'll get some music playing. We'll have a look here again. We'll do a quick Google actually. WinUAE, Amiga OS 3.9, can't change resolution. That's the issue that we're having. Cannot change display resolution. No answers. This is what it should look like. It should look all nice. Yep. You add RTG graphics card to your configuration. Is that the problem? Is it because I don't have a built-in graphics card? I wonder if it's because I've told it I'm using a CD32. If I tell it I have a graphics card, if I tell it I have a Voodoo, I feel like this is... No, that feels like a bad idea. That feels like it's gonna make up things that don't exist. And then when I put it into the actual thing, that it's gonna have a conniption.
How you going?
Confused. It won't let me increase the resolution. I don't know if it's because it's a CD32.
Oh, you may want to do that. DRS.
When?
The spreadsheet's open.
Oh, the spreadsheet. Yeah, okay. I'll do that later. Like, I'll do it soon.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm done. I'm probably gonna wrap up streaming soon because I think I'm stuck.
Oh no.
Da, da, da. Yep, so they're getting that. You should install Picasso's 96 from the contribution ID 30 blah blah blah. Something additional. Yes, you should install Picasso 96. You can specify the kickstart in the FS UAE launcher. Is that a different... this thing. Have to catch you in tomorrow. That's alright. Thanks for hopping in. I appreciate it. I will catch you next time. I'm stuck. So that once, don't remember how to do it. CD30 building CD file system, can't read files on the OS. That's fine. I'm gonna take the hard drive, place it in another Amiga. Bit into Workbench 3.1. Then do this. Blah blah blah. Alright. I think we're gonna wrap up now anyway. I'm stuck. I've got Amiga OS 3.9 installed. I want to get it running how I want it running first, and then we can start to install some games on it and stuff like that, and ADF mount and all that kind of stuff. So at this point, I think what we'll do is we'll see who's streaming on Twitch. So please hang around. I'm going to find someone to us for us to raid onto, so feel free to say hello. Who have we got playing at the moment? Got someone doing... So I only got one person on that does retro stuff that I'd be interested in raiding.
Who's that?
MP83. I want to see what they're streaming and how they're going at the moment. Because Stealthy Golem, Retro Island Gaming, like, I'm happy to raid them, but you know, like when you've got 500 viewers, the four of us aren't gonna make a big difference. Who else? Father Bill's always fun to watch. Fire Broadside. Oh, why am I not sending Fire Broadside? Oh, I'll send it to Fire Broadside. He's great. I think we will send it to Fire Broadside. I'm just going to see what MP83 is actually playing. Just got to wait for the commercials and then we'll decide who we're going to raid onto. But I think it's going to be Fire Broadside. I think he also watches MZizzy, which is one of my favourite retro gaming streamers. I'll get this ready. Where's my keyboard? Oh, why is there so many ads? What's he playing? I don't know what this is. The Sinking City. Oh, okay. And what's MP83 streaming? He's watching a bunch of stuff about the MSX. Let's send you to Fire Broadside because he's quite interesting and I like him. Fire a Broadside. There we go. Alright, I'm going to do a bit more research in terms of how the hell I can get this higher resolution to work. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. We have a lot of projects to go through. This is but one of many. So yeah, thanks very much guys. Have a good night. Take care.